All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. So it is currently 3 a.m. right now. My flight got canceled and I am chilling in a hotel. And I got a lot of requests to make this video, and I do believe it is a very, very important video to make, and I cannot sleep right now. So I decided to go ahead and record this for you guys. I know that I've experienced my fair share of doubts, especially in a field where everything is uncertain. Your outcomes are uncertain. There's just doubt all around, right? You cannot escape the doubt, honestly, on a daily basis in a field like this. And I know you guys feel the same way or have felt the same way. And it's not only the doubt that you feel yourself personally, but it's also the doubt that you get from societal pressures, right? From people always constantly nagging in your ear, talking about this won't work, you're wasting your time, go work a job, all the typical things that you expect from society, right? Because what you have to realize is that in a field, you are in a field with a very low success rate. And all the people that are talking to you about this is not going to work and you should quit and you should give up, they're just going based off of that statistic of nobody has really came out of day trading successful, or other entrepreneur related ventures as well that have low success rates. And you have to realize that whether you like it or not, their reasoning is valid. But it doesn't mean that you should quit. It doesn't mean that you should give up. It doesn't mean that you should doubt yourself, because there's a reason why you picked this field. There's a reason why you wanted to trade in the first place. It's because you genuinely enjoy it, because you genuinely see this as a career. And that's not a bad thing. What you have to realize is that you are attempting to do something that people wouldn't even dare to try. You are attempting to try to find success in a field where people don't normally see success. And that's a good quality in itself. And it's normal. It is normal to feel doubt. It is normal to feel like this is not going to work out, even putting all the societal pressure aside. You just questioning yourself on a daily basis if this is the right field for you. It is normal to feel that way because, again, you are trying to find success in a field where the outcome is uncertain. There aren't guaranteed paychecks every 2 weeks. There aren't guaranteed promotions, right? You're not getting a salary increase, a guaranteed salary increase. The outcomes that you get from this field is dependent on your actions. And you can do everything right in this field. You can do everything right. You can follow all your rules. You can follow your system, and you can still end up losing. And for a lot of people, that is a very tough pill to swallow. And for those people, what ends up happening to them, they end up quitting. And unfortunately, that is the 99% of people in general on this world, right? Living on the same earth as you. It's not like they're not capable of doing this, right? It's not like they're not capable of seeing success in trading. It's because they've lost the mental battle, right? They let the doubt take over, and they ended up succumbing to the doubt that they were always constantly thinking about, and they decided to give up. That's really just it. And you, on the other hand, if you're watching this video, there's a reason why you're watching this video, because either A, you're wanting to give up, or B, you're in a state right now where you're just constantly questioning yourself if this is even possible. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing, right? If you're A or B, whatever it may be, if you don't see this through, if you don't see whatever you're doing, it doesn't even have to be trading, right? It can be something that is just unconventional, right? That is not traditional. If you don't see whatever you are attempting through, how are you going to know what the outcome is, right? Because as soon as you quit, you've given up. Now, my philosophy behind really anything in general is if you don't quit, right? If you keep going, I honestly believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. But there is not going to be light at the end of the tunnel if obviously if you give up and you quit and if you succumb to the doubt that you're feeling. And there is also not going to be light at the end of the tunnel if you're not actually doing the things that are necessary in order to be successful in the field that you're doing, that you're trying to pursue. Now, for trading, what are the things that you need to do in order to be successful? You need a journal. You need to stick to your rules. You need to stick to your system. You need to be consistent in all of these things in order to see that said light at the end of the tunnel. Now, a lot of you guys end up doubting yourselves because you guys aren't doing these things, right? Because you guys probably don't even have data collected on your system. Maybe because you guys don't journal consistently. Maybe because you guys aren't reflecting on your journal. Maybe because you guys aren't actually reflecting on the trades that you're taking and learning from your mistakes, because you end up doing the same things, end up taking the same trades over and over and over again. And then you question yourself and the doubt slowly creeps in. What if this doesn't work out? Why is my trading inconsistent? Most of you guys, the people that you're watching on social media, the people that you're watching on YouTube, whatever it may be, they have been trading longer than you have even ever thought about trading. You have to realize that they've been trading longer than you've ever even thought about trading in general. And you're here questioning yourself and asking yourself if this is really going to work out when you haven't even seen it through. That is the problem with most of you guys, especially the people that have been trading for maybe a couple of months and they're facing this doubt that I'm talking about. And I've been in that same position as well. And I know I can guarantee every single consistently profitable trader has been in that same position as well, where they've been through the phase of no hope. And the reality is you need to go through this phase of no hope, this phase of it's not going to work out, right? Whatever you do, you're not seeing any sort of results. Because without this, you're not building character, you're not building discipline, you're not seeing growth. Because just in trading, right? Just like on the charts, you create lower lows to make higher highs. It's the same thing not only in trading, but in real life as well. Whatever difficult thing that you're trying to overcome or you're trying to face, there will always be lower lows to create higher highs. That is just one thing, that is just one foundational concept that will never go away in any field. So why is it any different in trading? Why is there a constant mental battle just going back and forth between your thoughts of, is this going to work out? Is this not going to work out? Am I wasting my time? I'm not actually seeing progress. This is probably not for me. Why do you have this pessimistic mindset? Why do you look down on yourself? These are the questions that you should be asking yourself. Because again, like I said earlier, if you're doing everything that you need to be doing, tell me why you can't see success in this field. Another thing that I want to talk about is also, why are you guys listening to small-minded people? Why are you taking their inputs? Again, going away from trading in general, right? Just talking about life in general, right? If you're going to the gym, if you want to get fit, do you listen to a fat person? Do you take advice from a fat person? No, you're not taking advice from a fat person. Who are you taking advice from? People that are fit, people that consistently go to the gym, people that have actually seen progress. That's who you're going to be listening to. And it's the same thing in trading. Why are you listening to people who haven't even attempted trading? Why are you listening to people that have attempted trading and haven't even seen it through, and they quit, they gave up because they didn't get that instant gratification? Why are you listening to those people? Why don't you listen to people that have went through the same scenarios as you and have seen success in the same field that you're pursuing? Why not listen to them? There is a reason. There is a reason why 99% of people do not end up becoming the 1% of people in this world. There is a distinct difference. It is because they didn't see it through. They didn't see their dreams through. And that is why you have this normal functioning society of people that are just everyday workers. And again, no shade to them, right? These are just people that had dreams and decided to not take action, right? Not to see it through. And that's just the reality of this world. You're going to have these people that have failed themselves because they didn't believe in themselves, because they succumbed to the doubt. So you have a choice. There's always a choice. There's always two choices, right? And in this case, the choice is you can either succumb to the doubt and, live a normal life, which is completely fine, or you can go through the trials and tribulations that trading has to offer and go through the ups and go through the downs and live a life that, you've always dreamed of, right? That you've always wanted to experience. And the only way you're able to do that is if you just stop doubting yourself, if you just stop worrying about the outcome, if you only just focus on what is controllable. What is controllable? Skill. Skill is the only thing that is controllable, right? Consistency is controllable. The outcome in trading is not controllable. So if you're doing everything right, why is there doubt in your mind? There should be no sort of doubt that this will work out or that this will not work out. Because again, what are you doing? You're doing everything that is necessary in order to make yourself a profitable trader. Now, there is one more thing that I want to leave you guys with. Most people in this world, they project their limits onto you. If you look at 99% of people, once again, most people, they give up on their own dreams, right? If you've probably talked to the regular person and, you ask them, hey, what was your dream job? They say their dream job. And then you maybe follow up and ask them, well, what happened? Why didn't you end up pursuing your dream job? Or why didn't it end up working out? And then they'll always give you an answer, some sort of excuse, talking about, oh, well, this happened. Well, this came up and I wasn't able to do it. Really? You and I both know it's because they didn't see it through. They quit their own dreams, right? People decide to start a business, but they didn't. People, they want to take a risk, but they didn't, right? They should have, they could have, but they don't. The bottom line is they don't do it. But what are you doing right now? You are doing it. And you have to see it through. These people, they wanted different lives, right? Everybody wants to live a different life than they're currently living. And they end up settling. So when you come in and you tell them that you're chasing something that requires discipline, uncertainty, and belief all together, they don't say that it's impossible because it actually is impossible. They say it because it was impossible for them. They say it because they couldn't achieve what you want to achieve. And this is the biggest psychological pressure that traders face. Everyone around you that's doubting you, and you slowly succumbing to this doubt. That is what will kill you. It won't be the hundreds of losses that you'll take. It won't be all the times that you crash out, you gamble, you do things that you weren't supposed to do. It is simply due to the fact that you are succumbing to the doubt. I want you to keep this in mind. I really want you guys to keep this in mind. Now, whenever you're feeling some sort of doubt, whenever you're feeling like this is not going to work out, remember why you started this. Remember why you started to trade, and just think about what the future self would feel if you decided to give up on your dream.